Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Foocast. My name is Finn, and today I'm joined by technically my first special guest on this podcast, Jant. How you going, dude?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me for real.
You're welcome. I'm actually genuinely, I've been thinking about really wanting to speak to you for a while because if you guys don't know, Jant has an incredible YouTube channel. Like, genuinely, he interviews so dude, you've just got this way of interviewing people and talking to people, and it's just the way you do it is just exceptional. Like, if I could generally just sit down and just watch you talk to voice actors, like you've spoken to the past, like Yuri Lowenthal, who's voiced Spider-Man and Spider-Man PS4, Richard Epcar, Roger Craig Smith. The way you do it is just so good. Like, you're genuinely just really interesting to watch.
Thank you. That really means a lot. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You're welcome, dude. Honestly, just keep doing what you're doing because everyone loves it. I love it. You must be really proud of yourself, honestly.
It's really it's been crazy to like look at like everyone I've like spoken to because these are like people I've looked up to for like years,
Yeah,
and it's just like really crazy because I've like they've been a part of my life since I was a little kid. You know, Roger was Batman and Sonic, and I interviewed Steve Bloom, and I've been a fan of Steve Bloom since I was a little kid. Like even before I was like knew what voice acting was. Like I always knew who Steve was, and like that was like a shell shock, and like being able to like email him was pretty cool. So this it's all been a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a few times on Instagram where you're just like, oh my god, I've knew this person from my childhood and now speaking to them. Like, it must be so surreal.
Yes, very. It's like it's so weird. Like I just announced that I'm interviewing Rob Paulson Wednesday, and that's like in 2 days, and like I still can't process that I'm doing that. Like I've been watching interviews, like figure out the right questions to ask him, or like things to shock him. Then be like, oh wow, you really did your deep dive and stuff, but it's crazy to be like, yeah, I'm speaking to Rob Paulson, who's another one who's like I grew up on Rob, like on his voice and just like listening to him, and it's just like so crazy to be like, yeah, I'll
Yeah,
be speaking to him. It's kind of like meeting. I don't know. It's kind of weird because it's like they're real people, and that's like that might sound like weird to say. Like, of course he's a real person. What the hell? He's not like a robot, but it's just kind of like it's just kind of like when these people are like bigger in life in your eyes, it's like weird to finally meet them and be like, hey, they're real people, and it's like, what the heck?
yeah.
Okay,
It must be really
you're
cool. It's like I remember scrolling around loads of times on just like your YouTube and Instagram, you'd be like, oh, I'm announcing this person. I'm just like, oh, that's okay, because I grew up on them as well. So just me watching you interview them as well, it's just kind of just, it's surreal as well, even though I'm not the one interviewing. It's just the fact that someone in our community is just, speaking to these people and you do it really well. Like, you've got just such confidence and it's just the questions you ask and it's just exceptional, dude.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I will tell you that for every interview, I'm extremely nervous, and like even doing them, I'm like nervous. Sometimes I forget to write down the questions, and then like you can tell I'm more nervous. But like when I write down the questions, it's more of a structure. And even sometimes when I do the interviews, there's no structure, but it's just kind of, I am nervous, so I don't want
Yeah.
people to. That's a very nerve-wracking thing.
Yeah, but because that's normal as well. But like, generally, if I just say, for example, just turn on any one of your interviews, right? Like, there'd never be any point where it doesn't look like you're nervous, even though you say that you're nervous. No, it just looks like you just get on with it. You never come across as nervous or anything like that. You just come across as just like really well polite, really well spoken, just genuinely, dude.
Oh, I really do appreciate that, man. Yeah, I try.
Yes.
I do try.
You're so welcome. So yeah, everybody, his YouTube will be in the description of this video. Please, please click on it. Watch some of his videos. You're fantastic, man. Keep doing what you're doing. And so everybody's well, I've seen a title for this video. We're actually going to be talking about the first few episodes of Marvel Studios' What If. Now, when this was actually back announced in 2019 of San Diego Comic Con, I was not okay, I'm not gonna say I wasn't excited for it because obviously it's Marvel, it's MCU, I'd still watch it. But I kind of swept it under my own little rug, as in because they announced stuff like Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, Moon Knight. I was excited for all this stuff, but I wasn't really sure how to feel about animated projects yet coming into the MCU. So, and it was the same with Loki. I wasn't really excited for that when that came out. And then when that came out and all the trailers, it slowly built really. I got really excited about it, and then Loki was incredible. And it's the same with What If. I wasn't really excited about it, and then all the stuff came out, and then once it's here, it blew me away. Generally, the first two episodes, okay, is just. I really, really enjoy it. Okay, it's how like in Clone Wars where you've got animated stuff and then that's sort of connected to the movies as well.
Yes.
I think that's like really cool. I reckon that when we get more live action stuff in the future, it would be cool to look at animated characters that show up in live action, and you'd be like, oh my god, it's them from that show, and then just looking at their suits in like live action from cartoon. I'm really excited for when that eventually does happen.
Yeah, me too. Like when Bo-Katan showed up in the Mando season 3, I freaked out like a little kid.
Yeah, it's same because okay, that same year when Mando season 2 came out, right? That was the first year that I watched Clone Wars as well. So,
cool.
yeah, because I remember vaguely bits of it as a kid, but the reason I started watching those because Mandalorian really just got me back into Star Wars. So I'd literally watch Siege of Mandalore, know who Bo-Katan is, within a few months' time. So I was still really excited about it, but I can imagine you watched it as a kid. And then,
that was great.
So I can imagine you being a lot more excited than me, but I'm excited for when that stuff does happen.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I heard that. That Captain Carter is supposed to be in Doctor Strange 3. Which, if that's true, then I'm generally gonna freak out because I like that costume a lot.
Yeah,
and Haley Atwell is a really good actress, so it'd be cool to see her back again as Peggy in the costume. I'd love to see that. That's gonna be cool.
Just seeing that suit in live action will literally just be just so good. Just imagine how that would look as well.
Yeah, Marvel's been doing pretty good with the costumes so far. I know a lot of people have a problem with Shang-Chi's costume, which I kind of get. That's not my favorite costume, but I mean, look at Sam as Captain America. That suit is freaking dope. Like that's just such a cool suit. Or look at who else? Look at Loki. Like just look at Richard E. Grant in that corny little stupid Loki costume. Like,
yeah,
that's just so cool.
Yeah, Marvel 9 times out of 10 never misses with their costumes. Like never. Like it's like there would be a rumor of so and so appearing in this movie, and I never really have any just skeptical on how they might look because they all look just so good in the MCU as well. And it's sad to see that we won't see Star-Lord T'Challa in live action because imagine how that would look.
Right. I wanna that suit where what was it? That I don't know what I'm trying to say. I know, but seeing Black Panther, man, rest in peace to Chadwick. That suit and What If is just so cool. Just like the purple leather on and
yeah, with all the little Black Panther, you've got the on the actual purple jacket, you've got all the little Black Panther teeth and all the little Wakandan bracelets and stuff. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yes. Love it. Love all of that.
That would have been so cool in live action.
Yeah.
Real quick, what was your thoughts on the first episode?
Well, first off, to just go back to when it was announced, I was excited actually. I was very excited for it because the What If comics are pretty cool. Stuff like what if Spider-Man became the Punisher or stuff like that is just so dope and cool to me. Just seeing that stuff for Marvel Zombies is dope. But what was it? To see just what they were gonna do with it and hear some of the things, I was very excited. But when I saw the first episode, I did not like the first episode that much. In my personal opinion, it just went by super fast and I just didn't really enjoy it that much. The voice acting was really all over the place for me. Some characters did not sound like I wanted them to. Like Sebastian Stan didn't sound like Sebastian Stan to me. He just sounded off, or sometimes the voice acting was just very inconsistent to me, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Josh Keaton though. Josh Keaton did a really good job as Cap, which I was very iffy on. I was kind of upset when I heard Chris wasn't coming back because like I'm very particular with my Cap voice actors because like I grew up on Brian Bloom who did the voice for what's the Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes was the first time I ever like really cared about Captain America or like really fell in love with that character was through that show, and I grew up on him, so I'm very particular.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really glad what Josh did with his take on Captain America. It was very cool. Still wish Chris was there, but Josh did a pretty good job. So
Oh yeah, he more or less sounded like it's like if you I rewatched it like a few hours before I jumped on a call with you.
okay,
He really does sound like Chris Evans.
yeah. Shout out to Josh. Josh has liked tweets and retweeted things. He's just such a cool guy, but he's just been doing articles and interviews talking about how like there was a lot of pressure and he just really
Yeah,
wanted to do justice, and he did good. So I'm glad that he's getting a lot of love for his take on the characters. So I assume he's going to be voicing Captain America throughout What If. So
I
that'll be
presume
interesting.
so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think was it Josh Keaton who voiced one of the Spider-Man in one of the animated series?
Yes, he did. Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, I've heard that he's going to be voicing Spider-Man in the episode with the zombies.
That'd be crazy. Yeah, because isn't that apparently there's some Spider-Man episode called What If Steve Rogers Became Spider-Man or something like that. I don't know, but that'll be pretty cool to see him back as Spider-Man because he hasn't voiced Spider-Man in a very long time. So.
Yeah, it's like how I like how they're being consistent with that as well. And I've seen a lot of people online getting like really frustrated how like Brie Larson not coming back, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. It's like I'd obviously really want them to come back, but it's the same with for example, Clone Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Ewan McGregor voicing Obi-Wan, you don't have Hayden Christensen voicing Anakin, but they still do like a really good job. So as long as the character's there and as long as they sound good, that's sort of like all I'm really bothered about. But if obviously you'd want the actual actors to come back, but it sounds like everyone did like a really good job. Like I get what you mean, where like there was a few iffy moments with like in the voice acting.
Mm-hmm.
I think like who plays Haley Atwell, she did a really good job. I thought she was really good.
Yes, that was one of the good parts of the show was Haley. She was very good, and like I said, that just goes back to what I'm saying is like Haley Atwell is a fantastic actress, and I'm really hoping that we see her sometime soon.
Yeah,
Again.
it's like she did really good with Agent Carter in the MCU, but now going forward, I think it's cool to imagine that we're gonna get her as Captain Carter like in the future with more like season 2 of What If, and then hope fingers crossed live action.
Mm, yes, live action is something that I am looking forward to, which hoping the best.
Yeah, hopefully it's like seeing Ahsoka in Mandalorian. I was freaking out seeing those white lightsabers.
Oh yeah, that was another that I can't believe I completely forgot that. Right, seeing Ahsoka after seeing her in like cartoon animated form for so long, and then like seeing her just transition with Rosario Dawson, which she did freaking great with, was just like mind blown moment. That
Yeah,
was so cool.
it's like, could you imagine if there weren't any leaks? Because you know how there were loads of leaks about if Bo-Katan, Boba, and Ahsoka were going to be Mandalorian. Imagine if the leaks weren't there. Imagine everyone's reaction just like, okay, this is Ahsoka in live action. What the heck? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah, that would have led for like that would have been so cool, man. Yeah, and hate the leaks, but I mean, there's a ton of those going around nowadays. So
Yeah, I don't like leaks, but at the same time, it's just I can't help myself just to just pick up the phone and just have a look.
Have a look, yeah.
Yeah, it's because you want to know, because we go on social media a lot and always look at news and trailers and stuff. It's like it's obvious that's gonna crop up somewhere, so it's kind of hard to escape them. Except for Luke showing up in Mando finale, which no one saw coming.
Yeah, and especially for it to be Mark Hamill, which is like, what the heck? Okay, this is cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cool.
that's probably one of the best experiences I've ever had to watch anything. Just did not expect it in the slightest.
Yeah.
It was absolutely incredible. For me, the first episode, I liked it. At first, the pacing being really quick bothered me, but I sat back and I was like, I actually don't mind these little mini stories going like kind of quick. I like how they're condensing like just like their own little tales in like the space of like 20 or 25 minutes. And like at first, I was just like, we could have got a little bit more time with this, but like I think there's like a little mini one-off episode, because I think that's what each individual one will be up until like the last episode, when I presume they're all gonna form like a big team. But all these little mini like just spin-off episodes, I think they're really cool. That the runtime. Sometimes there were a few moments that did go a little bit too quick, but like a majority of the pacing was really good.
I feel like the pacing got better with the second episode. I just think for the first one, they just really was heavily relying on Captain America, the First Avenger, just really took it away from the experience, in my opinion. Because it was like you really needed to have seen the First Avenger to really grasp and gain all that stuff. So
Yeah, it is. It did. Okay, it's one I really enjoyed it, but it was literally just the first Avenger, but with just a big, giant Iron Man mech and Captain Carter.
yeah.
It was basically beat by beat the same story, but not to say I didn't enjoy watching it. I just feel like a few times they could have done something a little bit different.
Right. And that's why I like the second episode, which we'll get into a lot more than the first one.
Yeah, or the second episode, okay. I love concepts of things. It's like, for example, the second episode, a space heist involving Thanos, Yondu, Nebula, Howard the Duck, and T'Challa Star-Lord.
Yes, Howard the Duck. That was fun seeing. That was cool seeing him back.
Yeah, I just love the concept of things like this, because it's gotten to the point in the MCU now where you can literally do the wackiest stuff, but it weirdly makes sense because it's in different multiverse stuff. You can literally do whatever you want because the MCU has earned fans. Because for so long they've been giving consistently great content, consistently great characters, great villains, and just they've won over the fans to the point where we're willing to basically accept anything.
Yeah, and that's I really episode 2 is so cool, and I just like I said again, rest in peace to Chadwick. That's still crazy to think about, just like Chadwick's passing. It's like weird.
Is it like a year on already?
I wasn't because I think next month it will be. I think he passed away in September. Yeah, even September will be about a year.
Yeah,
wow.
Even 11 months, like that's actually still surreal. I remember waking up like the morning to go to work, and I always go straight onto Instagram to see if there's any news or anything. And the split second I turned on Instagram, there was just a black and white picture of the Black Panther poster and saying "Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman," and just froze. Like it was just so unexpected.
Yeah, I remember. What time was it? So I think I was in it was around 7 or 8 or my time, because I know you're live in Britain and I live in the United States. So it was around like 8 or 9, and I just saw like someone sent an article in the chat that said "guys," and it was just like article link, and I was like, oh, I'll look at this later, really, and it's whatever. And I go on Instagram, And then people said, "Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman." I started crying, bro. Like I started crying for real.
Yeah,
And then
it's so
it,
sad.
yeah, and then I read something he said about like doing Black Panther while like having going through his battles, and that made me cry too because like damn. So I started crying over that too. So Chadwick Boseman, one of the greatest. So
Yeah, it's Black Panther really just boosted him into popularity, and okay, voice acting, he did a magnificent job.
yes, and he sounded way better in the actual episode than in the trailer. I don't know why I don't know if it's just me, but he sounded really off in the trailer. But when you watch the actual episode, he sounds legit perfect. Like he sounds great.
Yeah, like he hit some really emotional bits with Yondu as well. And it sounded like
Yes.
he wasn't in a booth. It sounded like they full on recorded his voice while he was just acting with someone else in person.
Yeah, that's great. To for you to say that because when a lot of same for Michael Rooker too. Shout out to Michael Rooker. He did a good job too as Yondu coming back and doing the voice and stuff. What from interviewing some voice actors, they talk about how like celebrities have issues coming into the voice acting thing because they're so used to getting dolled up this that and the third and such that it's a difficulty adjusting to the voice acting side of things. And Chadwick took that and like ran with it, and he did fantastic. He's not one of the one of the celebrities that has trouble with voice acting. He did really great.
Yeah, I never got in there and just like I was iffy on his voice in any moment. At any moment, I was just like, oh, he's just doing just a really good job, and it just the concept of this episode of I love how they didn't just have the exact same Guardians 1 story and just had I was at first I was kind of worried that they were just gonna have like it just be sort of the same Star-Lord but with T'Challa, if that makes sense. Like it's the same sort of like he's done the exact same things. People don't really know that he's an outlaw. But the fact that they've got in and the sort of personality of what Star-Lord is that it's kind of difficult to explain. It's that how other people see him. It's like he's not the exact same Star-Lord from Guardians 1, Guardians 2. People look at him and they have like a bunch of respect for him. He's widely known. And it's like Star-Lord in Guardians 1. Like nobody really know who he is. People just sort of just saw him as a joke. And it is kind of cool seeing like a different person, like how he sort of spent his time in space. He hasn't just done the exact same things. Because it's like in episode 1, Haley Atwell, even though she was like really, really great as Captain Carter, the character it was basically just a female, like just Captain America, like does the exact same stuff, but like it's a different Star-Lord.
Yes, and I think it was cool that I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Chadwick originally auditioned to play Star-Lord, but they gave it to Chris Pratt. So I think it was cool that they did this whole what if thing because he originally auditioned for Star-Lord. So I thought that was pretty.
Didn't he audition for Drax as well at some point? I swear he did.
Either that or I'm getting them mixed up. Because I know he auditioned for Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think it was Drax. It could be both of them.
Drax audition.
It's like how
yeah, it was for Drax.
Yeah.
It was Drax, not Star-Lord. Well, never mind. I thought it was Star-Lord. I guess I'm thinking of someone else, but yeah.
Yeah. It's still really cool though. It's just surreal just seeing like, for example, T'Challa in space talking with like Yondu and all that. It's like these people you'd never expect them to be in the same room. It's like, for example, Spider-Man and the Guardians in Infinity War. It's like I love the matchups between people. It's like I just watched this episode and then okay, real quick. I loved the opening scene. You get a sense of who the character is straight away. It's like he's stealing the All Black in Guardians 1, but instead of people going, "Who? I don't know who you are," they're like sort of like respecting him, and then you see how humble T'Challa Star-Lord is, and how like he wants to, like, the other guy wants to join his crew. It's just, you get a sense of who the character... Yeah, you get a sense of who the character is straight away. And you know that it instantly just not the same style as before. So it might actually be maybe not my favorite scene in the episode, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, I really, as a whole, I enjoyed episode 2 more than episode 1, just because, like you said, of what it set up and stuff like that. And
it's because how different it is.
Yeah, how different it is. And like, it didn't feel like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, it didn't feel like it was just trying to do Guardians of the Galaxy 1, just like did it over again. Like, that's why episode 1 again felt flat to me, because it was just like Captain America: The First Avenger with a few things changed here and there.
Yeah.
And like, there's no way you could really do that in like a 30-minute time span. So it just really felt flat. But here, it wasn't necessarily based off of Guardians 1. I mean, obviously Star-Lord in them, but it wasn't what I'm trying to say. It was doing its own thing while still like retaining elements from the first Guardians and just making it a new thing, and to fit it in that like 30 to 35 minute time span was just perfect.
Yeah, because you know how the whole tagline of "What if, endless possibilities." This episode really felt just like this episode really embraced what if. It wasn't the exact same, like you said, it wasn't the exact same thing as the previous episode. It was literally just, like, literally, the first opening scene, we're on Morag with the Infinity Stone. That was more or less the only similar thing in Guardians 1. The rest is just completely new.
Yes.
It was just a whole new concept as well. And, what was I going to say? Something that I'm actually really happy with is that, you know how a lot of the MCU, it like adapts loads of things from like comic books, right? While I'm not saying that's bad, you never know Marvel for like its originality, is what I'm trying to say. And it's like you see What If and all these individual little things, they're basing them off what if possibilities of the MCU. It's like T'Challa Star-Lord, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing from the comics. So
no, it's not.
It's cool to see Marvel like sort of they're making their own stuff up. They're doing their own thing that's not based off anything.
Yes.
Which I think is really interesting as well. Like, they could have easily just done, grabbed a few characters from, like, a multiverse comic book and thrown them in. But the fact that they're doing a what-if of their own work, I think that's really cool, because you go to every episode, and then, because if it was based off, each episode was based off, like, something happened in a comic book, right? You'd look at that and be like, oh my god, this so-and-so could happen in this because it happened in this comic book. You don't know what's going to happen, because it's their own thing.
Yes, and that's another thing that I love about it as well. Just the originality and stuff about it.
Yeah, especially Thanos joining the Ravagers. Like, excuse me, what?
Oh, yeah, that was, yeah.
That was really cool. Like, he's just like, oh, tell us about the time you stopped the Mad Titan Thanos, and he just comes out of, like, a Guardians of the Galaxy coat. I'm just like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, that's so weird. I was like, what the heck?
You tell me the whole of Infinity War could have been resolved if, like, Black Panther brought in, like, 2 sunbathing chairs into Wakanda and was like, Thanos, take a seat, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
It literally could have been resolved if they were just stuck in a room together just having a chat.
That's funny. Yeah.
But I think it's really cool. Like, I still like episode 1. I think, actually, you know when you get various scenes in, like, a TV show or a movie, and whenever you're not doing anything, you always have to go on your phone and just rewatch those scenes. Even though I thought episode 1 was, like, it was just good, I really did like that montage of the little music, like, you know, the little montage.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly the scene you're talking about.
It gave me kind of, I was sitting with my friends while I was watching it. It gave me sort of Adam West Batman vibes, you know, at the start.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking. Yes.
Yeah, with all the powers, like, purr, and then it was just so cool just seeing, like, a World War II Hulkbuster, and it looks amazing, and then, like, Captain Carter just flying on the top of it. That image, it's just so cool. And she's just flying around, like, and going, like, to various Spitfire. It reminds me of, you know, when Ahsoka was escaping the Venator in the last episode of Season 7?
Yes. Yes, a lot of people, yes.
That's what it reminded me of.
Yes, that was.
She's such a violent Captain America. Like she beats people up. Like even though they're already down, she walks over and just kicks their ass again and again.
Yeah.
She does. It's like there was like she kicked like 5 dudes against the wall, and then she just like carried on smacking them with the shield. I'm like, oh, they're fine. Just leave them now.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, episode 2 was just. It was. I enjoyed it a lot more. I like how what do you call it? You kind of see what happens when Thanos is no longer in power, and I like how the Collector sort of just he fills that slot.
Yes.
And it's like also another thing I like is that there's the characters that come in, they don't look exactly the same. It's like Nebula. It's like now that he's had a chat with Thanos, Nebula is sort of different, and she got like a kind of different relationship with her father, and she's got hair now and a big sparkly dress. And there was definitely some sexual tension between the two of them. There definitely was. I was kind of getting that vibe.
Chadwick and Nebula?
Yeah, hey Cha-Cha. There was definitely that there.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely some of that. And, yeah, the Collector, he's a beefcake in this. My goodness.
Yeah, he's huge.
I was like, when he had his big cloak on, I was just like, wait, is he buff or is that his cloak? And he takes it off and I'm just like, oh, okay, man's got like a 9-pack.
Very different from the original movie.
Yeah, he was like a little weaselly guy. But yeah, it's just like having a heist in sort of like the Collector's big room, and I love the concept so much. I've rewatched this episode, right? I think I've rewatched it about 4 times.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm starting to think it's a problem with episode 2. Like, I wouldn't be doing anything, and I'll just be sitting there, and be like, I'm gonna rewatch that episode again because it's just so fun to watch. It's a heist between all these people that you would never see in the same room.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun to watch, and yeah, episode 2 was definitely a lot better than 1. And the voice acting, Josh Brolin was great, Michael Rooker was really good. Karen, is it Gillian or Gillian? I think it's Gillian. She did a really good job as Nebula.
Yeah, she did. Oh, she did great too.
She really did. And also, I want to ask you something, right? What is your thoughts on the animation?
I love the animation. I've always loved it. I just love the new take on it, and it just looks so cool to me. I really like it.
It does. For me, right now that I think about it, I kind of get some Borderlands vibes off the animation.
Huh.
For me,
I can see that actually. I can see that. I can see that.
For me, it's kind of a mixture between Star Wars Resistance and Borderlands, and that is a good mix.
Yes, Star Wars Resistance. Yep.
Yeah.
Star Wars Resistance and Borderlands. I could definitely. Yeah, I definitely see that.
I really like all like the cool lighting on people's faces, especially when they're going through space, or like the different like blue and like the yellow lighting on people's faces, and they've adapted like the facial expressions really well as well, and also I think visually it looks so good. Like the shots, the colors, especially in episode 2, it's visually really good to look at.
Yes.
Even in World War II in the first episode, right? There's still a lot of color and there's still a lot of really interesting things, and I think it's because of the lighting as well. The lighting, it really sets the animation.
Yeah, it does.
And like at first I wasn't sure about it, but because I only saw like a few concept arts from like 2019 at San Diego Comic-Con, but just seeing it in the flesh just play out, it just because I love my visuals, I love my cinematography, and it's just there's so many times where I just sort of step back and I was like, wow, that's a really good shot.
Yeah.
So like props to the visual team on that one, and I gotta say, I'm really excited about the concepts of the episodes going forward.
I am as well. I'm really excited for the Marvel Zombies ones, because, yeah.
Yeah, like, just... Because I have heard, I don't know if this is true, but Marvel Zombies could be coming to live action in Multiverse of Madness.
God, I would love that. I would love That Marvel Zombies is so cool.
Yeah, it's just, it's just, yeah. I think that's the episode I'm most excited for.
Same.
I don't know a whole lot about what the next episode is coming out in the next few days. I think the other ones I'm quite excited for is Tony Stark going to like Sakaar and like the big Ultron episode where like he sort of wins Age of Ultron.
Yes,
Mm.
that'll be cool.
'Cause it'd be cool if like, because when you go back and rewatch Age of Ultron, you'd be like, oh, if the Avengers didn't win, this is what would have happened.
Yeah. I wonder. I wonder if James came back to do. James Spader came back. I wonder if James is coming back to do Ultron's voice or not.
I did check because I put out a big cast list and I didn't see James Spader on there, unfortunately.
That sucks
Yeah,
heavy.
I
I wonder
know.
who's gonna voice him.
Yeah, I hope that whoever voiced him does a really good job. But James Spader as Ultron, you know, it's just it's that voice as well. He was just really good as Ultron. But I really hope that, because I'm not too worried if they're gonna do or not do a good job about it. I'm pretty sure, I'm confident they've hired the right people to do like Brie Larson, and because in the first What If trailer, they did really well at doing Robert Downey Jr. I think he sounded pretty good.
Mm.
But it's just a shame that they didn't come back. It was literally, they just like, all right, we've done our movies. Our characters are dead. We'll take our paychecks and go.
Yeah.
Literally. Mm. Sorry, I was just having a drink. But
I
yeah,
think it.
I've been really impressed with What If as well. It's also because this series is basically the ramifications of the sacred timeline. I presume, have you seen Loki?
Oh yeah, loved Loki. Finished all of it.
Incredible. Okay, it's, you know, when something happens in a series or a show, and it takes quite a while, say like a year or 2 years for to see what happens next from that, and you literally see the sacred timeline in the end of July, and then literally the start of August, you see like what happens because of the finale, like literally like 2 or 3 weeks later. Like, how lucky are we?
Yeah.
Like, generally so lucky. And it's like Loki I wasn't really bothered about because I knew that his character died in Infinity War, and then just seeing that show, it just made me just so happy because, you know, it's the concepts of the shows. It's like something I'd never expect.
Yeah. They're really pulling off their creative juices out to really keep us intrigued.
Yeah, it's, you know, after Infinity War, were you sort of concerned that the sort of Marvel superhero stuff would sort of like fatigue a little bit?
Um, that's a really good question. I mean, I heard a lot of people say after Endgame that they were like done with Marvel, but I mean, so far Marvel's done a pretty good job with keeping us intrigued. I mean, even though Black Widow wasn't the greatest, I mean, all of the TV shows have been pretty good. Um, Shang-Chi looks very good. Eternals could be good.
Eternals looks
So
like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Dune.
which one?
Eternals just looks like Guardians of the Galaxy meets like Dune. It looks so good. But yeah, to me, I was like, okay, I'm still gonna watch the Marvel movies, but it's got to a point where you should do different things. It's like all of them have been good, but
Hmm.
you know, it's like, for example, the animated Spider-Verse is so different. Logan is so different, and
Yes.
it's like when I found out what they were doing with WandaVision, where it's sort of like a sitcom, it's sort of, you know, like the kind of like the Truman Show. That's kind of what it felt like, and
Truman. Yeah.
yeah, it's the concepts like that.
I Love Lucy and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah, and it's just, they could have easily just done generic Scarlet Witch story, generic bad guy had a fight, sets up the next movie, but they set it out as like a nothing like they've ever done before. And then we got Falcon Winter Soldier was like a buddy cop. Loki was sort of just so different. And then now we're getting animated stuff with What If. And we're getting so many different things now. It's like we're getting literally Marvel's version of Mortal Kombat in literally next week. So I'm really
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm literally happy that they're not doing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yes.
Minus Black Widow.
Yeah, minus Black Widow.
If COVID never happened, did Feige really want to start off Phase 4 with Black Widow?
Yeah, that's what I think that's what he was going with. I mean, that's why he pushed it back so much, because,
Yeah.
I mean, he really wanted Black Widow to come out.
Yeah, well, now that we got WandaVision to start off Phase 4, because if Black Widow started off Phase 4, you know, a majority of the people would have been like, oh god, we're just going to keep getting this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say that I didn't hate Black Widow, it was just very, you know, kind of...
very bland.
Yeah, kind of shoved it to the back of my mind a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
But, like, going forward in the MCU, I'm just... Like, with What If, when they're doing animated stuff, which I never in a million years that I'd imagine that would do that, and it be canon, it's just, going forward, I'm really, really excited for the future.
Yeah, I'm excited for Marvel's future, too. Really happy and excited.
Yeah, especially with the Loki finale as well. It's like... Good grief. We're getting some multiverse stuff. Because it's getting to the point where it's just like, okay, how can you do something bigger than Thanos? Oh, let's bring back the other Spider-Man. Let's bring back the other Spider-Man villains. Let's do animated stuff.
Let's do Kang.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, when he showed up in the finale, I was just like, dude, I couldn't speak.
Yeah, I was very happy and excited.
Yeah. It's just really, yeah. So overall, I'm just... Yeah, really happy with the future of the MCU. Episode 1 and 2 of What If, they've put me in a really good spot where I can sit back comfortably and be like, we're getting some good content in the next few weeks, next few months, next few years. Marvel's in a great spot.
Yes.
Quick question. What would be your favorite entry this year?
In regards to...
The MCU, like Phase 4, for example.
Loki. No
yeah,
question.
100%, yeah.
Just the way it was so creative and wacky, I loved it.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, we just got Shang-Chi's Rotten Tomatoes score, 93%.
I'm excited for that. Very excited for that.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, low-key, as a visual standpoint, because a lot of the MCU cinematography has been sort of just good, just not anything like wowzers, but low-key, it's just a standout in terms of visuals in the MCU.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah, we're in a good spot right now.
Most definitely. Can't wait to see all this crazy stuff they got going on.
Yeah, especially with just like, it's No Way Home is going to be incredible as well. Hopefully that trailer drops pretty soon.
Apparently it's supposed to drop tonight. I don't have my fingers crossed, but...
Oh yeah, because it's apparently, I saw someone say like, 9 p.m. Eastern time. And then I checked it out, and my times, and that's going to be 2 a.m. So I'm going to be doing nothing but just playing Dead by Daylight all the way up until 2 a.m. Because I go to bed at a decent time, but I have to stay up. Okay, I have to see this trailer. I can't go to bed and then think I'm not going to see it until tomorrow morning. I have to. I've been waiting for this trailer so long.
Yes.
It's just, yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've really enjoyed speaking to you, dude, honestly.
I have too. Thank you so much for bringing me on. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome, dude. Like, what do you want to call it? It's like the first proper time I've really sat down and spoken to anyone about What If, you know, because I always, yeah, because I've watched it with a few friends and we didn't have many notes and things to say about it. Plus, it's nice to, it's refreshing to sit in a room with someone new and just talk, you know, it's refreshing.
Yes.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed speaking to you, dude, honestly.
Yeah, thank you so much, bro. I really do.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it.
All right, you about ready to wrap up, or is there anything else you want to say?
No, man. Just keep watching this dude's content. He's got a lot of good stuff coming, and Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I really appreciate that, dude. Yeah, that's the same with everyone else watching this. Please go watch Jamp's content because he is incredible. Absolutely, such a goddamn work of art of a human being.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, so thank you guys, thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Bye.